thank you for coming today so early in the morning. So, hello. Before we start, just to let you know, for those who have not registered with us, please look for me because at the end of the event there will be a lucky draw. So if you never register with us, you won't be entitled to the lucky draw. Okay? So before we start, just to have a show of hands, who is the overworker here? Overworker. That means you participate in some overworking events, competitions and stuff like that. Just one? Just one? Oh, okay, but probably shy. Okay, so without further ado, let's welcome our Business Development Manager, Desmond, to give the presentation on today's activity.
Okay, very good morning to everyone. Okay, thanks for coming to this important event. Okay, the power user gathering today. Okay, together with me, okay, we have our Singapore team. Okay, Michelle, Jin Lee, Jin Lee, and Zhi Hao. Okay, so we have our representatives from Bandung and Evertech also. Okay, Richard Chong from Bandung. Okay, Evertech we have David, Danny, and Andy who is behind. Okay, most importantly today, okay, we have invited a very important guest. Okay, he is from Taiwan, and he is actually Jack Chen. Okay, from the motherboard Taiwan team. Okay, Jack, maybe you would like to share with us what you're doing currently.
Well, basically, because Desmond is going to show you some of the special features of the Z68 chipset as well as the special features of our motherboards. I'm actually preparing some live demos so you can actually take a look at it. Okay, take some screenshots if you actually need it. Okay, to have an experience of this without actually having to build it yourself, of course. Okay, because some of the equipment here may actually require a little bit more expense on top of that. Now, for example, the Intel Smart Response will actually require a relatively higher speed SSD, which is quite costly for some people. Okay, and that's why we just try to demonstrate all the special things that you may actually do with the Z68 platforms, and things like that. Okay, and if there's anything you would like to see with regards to this platform, just give me a yell, and I will actually demonstrate that to you when you during each break. Okay. Cheers.
Okay, back to me. Okay. Today's agenda. Okay, we'll be touching on the motherboard positioning of ASUS. Okay, the dual intelligent processor. Okay, ASUS EFI BIOS, Z68, and some interesting, I can say comparison. Okay, which I call it food for thoughts. Okay, and of course, most importantly, question and answer. So later on, we will actually type on any questions that has been posted by the power users, okay, onto the projector. So Jack and I will actually help to answer the questions.
Okay, and apart from that, we in ASUS motherboard headquarters, we are also open for any suggestions. So if you would have any suggestions with regard to the motherboards or any features or anything you dislike about ASUS products, okay, please let us know, and we will try to improve our products based on your suggestions. Okay, as long as you suggest, they will happen. Okay, they will mostly happen. Of course, not everything. For example, some people may actually make jokes and say, "All right, I want motherboard to fly." Then, so okay, that may not be possible for now. Maybe in the next decade. Okay, who knows? All right, things like that. All right.
Okay, for motherboard positioning, okay, in ASUS we have 3 different categories. Okay, the high end, which is the premium deluxe series. Okay, mid range, which is the mainstream series. Okay, low end, which is the value series. On top of that, okay, we have actually 2 additional brandings. Okay, the ROG series and the Turf series. Okay, ROG series is actually dedicated or customized for gamers, for overclockers. Okay, Turf series, the strong feature behind that is actually our 5 years warranty. Okay, 5 years warranty. Okay, the components used in Turf series motherboard, okay, is actually of US military standards. Okay, and it's actually famous or well known for its reliability and durability. Okay, dual intelligent processor 2 technology. Okay, as you can see, it actually consists, okay, of DG plus VRM, EPU, TPU. Later I'll touch on DG plus VRM on the next slide. Okay, what is actually a VRM controller? It's actually a programmable microprocessor. Okay, which actually accurately matches multiple PW signals. Okay, without any power loss. Okay, which actually enhance on the which actually reduce on the lower power dissipation. Okay, so features of DG plus VRM. You will have higher system stability, okay, more precise adjustment, okay, high power efficiency, increase the overclocking possibility, and the active cooling, okay, microprocessor. Okay, ASUS EFI BIOS. Okay, we actually have the real BIOS features. Okay, we have done some comparison on the so-called touch BIOS and the hybrid EFI BIOS. Okay, so as you can see from this slide, okay, the so-called touch BIOS actually works under Windows OS, which means that you have to actually install the application. Okay, which means that you have to actually install the application under Windows OS. Okay, you can actually only access the touch BIOS after loading of OS, which actually defeats the purpose. Okay, for BIOS system, okay, it's actually before or without any OS support. Okay, yeah. For hybrid OS, for hybrid EFI BIOS, as you can see here, okay. For ASUS EFI BIOS, we have the mouse controlled input, okay, with scroll wheel support, okay, 2.2 TB terabyte support, okay, plus root, okay, graphical user interface, and BIOS screen capture, okay, the F12. Okay, 2.2 terabyte support, okay. As you can see, the so-called hybrid EFI, it can't support Intel SRT, okay, with hard disk more than 2.2 terabyte. Okay, the highlighted in red. Just to share with you, okay, the hybrid EFI BIOS, okay, is just a direct replica, okay, of the non-EFI GPT boot support, which is actually provided by other vendors, okay, previously in year 2010, okay, under the name 2.2 terabyte Infinity, and later which is renamed as a 3 terabyte Infinity. So it only provides partial, okay, GPT support. Okay, I'll touch on Z68 motherboard. Okay, the highlights, the features of the Z68 motherboards. Okay, Lucy Logic's Virtu, okay, Intel Quick Sync video, and okay, Intel Smart Response technology. Okay, later on I'll touch on. Okay, what is actually Z68? It's actually a combination of P67, H67, Virtu, and ISRT, okay, which is the Intel Smart Response technology. Okay, what does the Z68 provides? Okay, one of the features is that they actually support hybrid multiple monitor. Okay, supports up to 6 monitors, 6 displays. Okay, when you integrate, when you actually utilize the integrated graphics together with discrete card. Okay, which means that, for example, okay, integrated graphic, okay, 1 GPU, okay, supports up to maximum 2 displays. Okay, discrete card you need 2 to support up to 6. Okay, you need 2 discrete card, okay, which matches per GPU supports up to maximum 2 display. So which is 6 display. Okay, you can do crossfire SLI with the integrated graphics. Okay, using discrete. Yes, sorry.
For this part, like that's me maybe a little bit misleading here when I talked to him about it last night. Okay, like the SLI or crossfire support I'm talking about here, it is actually regards to you can actually do discrete to discrete SLI or crossfire, and then actually do multi-monitor support. with the integrated. Okay, so the integrated can actually give you 2 displays maximum, okay, plus the additional display cards, whether they are actually in SOI, Crossfire, or standalone. Don't care. Okay.
Okay, what is actually a Lucy Logix Virtu? Okay, it's actually a software that utilizes integrated graphics together with the discrete graphics. So you actually enjoy the benefits, okay, of integrated and discrete GPU without swapping of cables, okay, video cables. Okay, under Lucy Logix Virtu, okay, there's 2 modes. Okay, one is D mode, one is I mode. Okay, what is D mode? Okay, D mode and I mode actually shares almost the same features. Okay, you can do multitasking of iGPU and DGPU. Okay, multiple discrete GPU support. Zero impact. Okay, zero impact to the graphical performance, which means actually under D mode there's zero impacts to gaming performance, 3D performance. Yes. Okay, excellent compatibility with games. Okay, fully customizable list. Okay, what does fully customizable list means? Okay, under the application, okay, you can actually choose, okay, which application to run with discrete or integrated. Yes. Okay. Okay, same applies to I mode. Okay, you can do multitasking. Okay, discrete GPU. Leaves idle state when gaming. Okay, fully customizable list. Okay, enjoy high performance at the same time. Okay, high performance gaming and encoding at the same time, utilizing iGPU and DGPU. Okay, for info, for iMode support, it only supports on Maximus 4. Okay, for Z68, P8Z68, okay, dash V Pro, and P8Z68 dash V. Okay, in short, what is Lucy Virtu? Okay, it's actually having Sandy Bridge features, okay, Sandy Bridge graphics features, okay, together with discrete card features. Okay, as just now I mentioned, okay, Virtu actually supports 2 modes, okay, I mode and D mode. So what's the difference? Okay, for I mode, okay, it's actually direct primary display output, okay, from the integrated GPU. Okay, for D mode, which means direct primary display output, okay, from the discrete card. So the difference is only on power consumption and the Crossfire SLI support. Okay, the power consumption for I mode, okay, of course, will be mainly on integrated GPU. Okay, D mode mainly on discrete. Okay, and for I mode, under I mode, okay, there is no SLI and Crossfire support. Okay, so which means, okay, with Virtu software, you are able to have, okay, faster video conversion and at the same time, okay, better graphical performance at the same time. Okay, thanks to Intel new technology, okay, Intel QuickSync video engine, okay, with this you can actually do 3 times, okay, faster of the conversion of media files.
Okay, by the way, just some additional notes. Okay, the 3 times we actually mentioned in here this value may actually vary with respect to the card you actually use and with respect to the video you actually trying to encode. Okay, if you are trying to encode something with a very low resolution output, then you will not actually see any performance gain because basically the CPU can actually do it single-handed. Right? That's why, like, in some of the media reports you actually see, okay, in some media reviews you actually see no difference with regard to that because they are actually using the wrong output file. Okay, yeah. Fortunately, all those media who actually report similar issues are not reviewing output, which is quite okay. Yeah. I'll just let you know.
Okay, we have actually done a test, okay, on using Media Espresso, okay, and this is actually the results. It's actually 3 times faster on video conversion. So we have actually done another test, okay, under D mode, okay, using add-on card, which is the discrete card, okay, with and without D mode. Okay, as you can see, the performance is almost similar. So what does it mean? Okay, it means zero impact to the 3D performance, to the gaming performance. Okay, we have done another comparison, on a competitor solution. Okay, they don't have the iGPU layout preserved. Okay, and this actually happens. Okay, the error message actually happens when we actually install the Virtu software onto the other brand's motherboards. Okay, Z68 motherboard. Okay, this is actually what happens. Okay, no Intel device drivers found. Okay. So in short, we ASUS, our Z68 series, we actually support hardware transcoding, Intel QuickSync support, lower power consumption, and enjoying both discrete cards performance and the integrated card performance. I mean integrated iGPU.
Just some additional notes on this part, because in ASUS we believe that since you consumers has already paid for the additional cost to buy the Intel integrated graphics, you might just as well use it. Otherwise, since Intel forces everyone to buy it, you may just as well use it, or well, find a way to fully utilize it. For example, some of the multitasking like what Desmond actually talked about before. You may be actually encoding your family videos for your mom while you actually still want to play some games. In the past, you have to actually stop while you're actually playing and actually encode for your mom first. Otherwise, you'll get busted after that. Now you can actually do the encoding while you are playing your game. So once you finish your gaming, your video is also encoded. Nice. We are not saying that. We are not saying that Intel QuickSync is really fast. It's fast in terms of comparing with all different sort of VGA cards. For example, NVIDIA CUDA, if you actually use them on the very high-end VGA cards, they may actually run faster than the Intel QuickSync. However, you cannot actually do that while you are actually playing games. And this is one of the concepts that we actually think of before we actually decide to whether or not we should actually introduce Virtu onto our motherboards. That's one of the concepts. And two is when you actually use CUDA to actually encode video, it's actually using 100% of your GPU performance, i.e., it's going to consume a lot of your power. While you are doing the same with Intel QuickSync, you may be getting about 90% to 100% of the performance, while the power consumption is at least 200 watts lower. So either way, you are actually saving, and either way, you are actually using the full utilization of your motherboard. So as long as that's the whole concept of actually introducing those onto our motherboard. Of keeping the VGA, because some of the users may actually think about I'm actually a hardcore gamers and I don't actually want to use the integrated graphics because the 3D performance is kind of shit, really. But to think about the concept, the logic from the other way around. You can actually find some other uses of the integrated graphics. Back to you.
The Intel Smart Response technology, you can actually enjoy up to 4 times faster, with with SSD caching. So for example, if let's say you were to take out a little bit of space from the SSD, your hard disk can run up to 4 times faster. Thanks to Intel Smart Response technology. Jack, maybe you can share with us, what you are actually doing right now, with your demo system.
I was just running some scores. With Smart Response here. As you can see, this is nothing more than a standard Hitachi hard drive. And I can actually achieve the read performance of up to 359.5 megabytes per second, which is impossible even with RAID 0 on the same drive. If anyone in fact actually own one of these themselves. And the performance gain is really depending on what sort of SSD you actually use. What we'll actually be expecting is basically the average okay, the average performance between your hard drive and your SSD. Okay, and yeah, so basically the bigger the gap, okay, the more performance you can actually expect. Okay, so the 4 times here may actually be with respect to relatively low speed hard drive as compared with the very high speed SSD. But it's depending on your combination. Okay, it's depending on your combination. I will say basically from 50% to 400% depending on your combinations. Okay, now back to you.
Okay, later on you will show off the results.
No, result is already here. Yeah, so
Results
you can
already
actually
here.
come and take a look.
Okay,
pretty small. Yeah.
okay. You will have the results later on. So
Yeah.
so later maybe you all can crowd around the demo area to actually take a look. Okay. Okay. A very interesting topic that actually we thought of yesterday. Okay. Fruit for thoughts. We actually done some kind of comparisons. Okay. Between our brand, okay, ASUS, and other brands. Okay. So a lot of friends actually ask me, is touch BIOS equals to EFI BIOS? Okay. Just take a look at the images. Okay, under touch BIOS, works under Windows OS. Okay, need to install the application, the software. Okay, you need to actually load up the OS before you can access to this touch BIOS. Okay, for ours, EFI BIOS. Okay, it works before loading of OS. Okay, or even without OS support. Okay, and our EFI BIOS, in fact, under non-OS environment, okay, you can use the mouse, okay, dragging, dropping, which later Jack will actually show the demo, okay. You can do your mouse click, etc. In this interface, okay, and of course graphical interface, okay, graphical interface supports up to 2.2 terabyte for the booting, okay, and okay, print screen, BIOS print screen, F12, okay.
Apart from that, you can the good thing about EFI BIOS is that apart from being able to design GUI by yourself, okay, we can actually use high resolution display, and as well as being able to load drivers, okay. The EFI BIOS is like a small OS itself. You can actually load drivers and load software modules onto it if you want. Okay, so in the future you will starting to see some red card vendors will actually be releasing EFI drivers for your BIOS, which is it's kind of an old concept for now. Okay, but in the future they will actually be the trend. Why? Because basically, I suppose a lot of you may actually try to actually install some red cards onto your system and found that the option ROM is just not having enough space. So you can actually run the integrated RAID while you actually run it with some additional RAID cards. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 RAID cards on your system, and you may have to jump out and say, sorry, I can actually load your option ROM. Alright, they will no longer be the problem once you can actually load drivers, because when you actually try to load drivers, you are not limited to the 640K memory space. Okay, now you will be able to load as much as you DRAM now. Okay, with EFI BIOS, and that's the concept that's the future of the BIOS development.
Okay, a lot of friends also ask me this question. Okay, is hybrid EFI BIOS equals to EFI BIOS? Okay, as you can see, okay, there's this review, okay, from the techreport.com. Okay, I'll read out everything. Okay, first thing first, this is not a EFI BIOS. Okay, although technically EFI is more of a replacement for the BIOS than a specific kind of BIOS. Okay, other brands which I will mention. Okay, 6 series motherboards still used an old school award BIOS. Okay, this is print screen. Okay, yes. Do take note on the highlighted in red. Okay, the boot option. Okay. Okay. We actually found this in the MSI support FAQ. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Take note of this. Okay, the boot device. You can actually something similar to the previous one. Okay, to be frank. As just now I mentioned, a direct replica. Okay, let's go back to the previous slide. Does it look familiar? Does it look familiar? This slide and actually the next slide. Okay, having the boot option, EFI boot option. Okay, we actually done different layers. Okay, you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, a segmentation. Okay, so take a close look at layer 2. Okay, this is where the fins actually lies on. So to be frank, okay, anything that is built above the fin, okay, anything that is built or installed above the fin, will actually degrade, okay, the cooling capabilities. Okay, it will actually affect, okay, the heat dissipation capabilities. So let me ask you this question. Okay, the bigger and heavier, is it the better? Okay, I would like to share with you the concept between our turf thermal armor, okay, versus our ceramics coating. Okay. In fact, thermal armor, we actually divide the temperature zone, okay, the thermal zone, okay, into two thermal zones. Okay, one which is inside the thermal armor and outside the thermal armor. So, which means that, okay, it will actually help, okay, chassis or systems with limited cold air flow, or you have cablings, untidy cablings, or you have a lot of components which obstruct the airflow. Okay, this will help. This will help. Okay, for the ceramics coating, okay, it will actually help on higher heat dissipation. Okay, why? Okay, with ceramic, you will gain you will have 50% more surface area. Okay, 50% more surface area. Okay, thanks to the surface area, you will have higher heat dissipation on the ceramic coating. Okay, for this slide, I will pass to Jack. Okay, to actually discuss more on the different points. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Alright, for this part, I will actually just some experience sharing anyway. Okay, just some experience sharing about why we actually design our board in this sort of manner. Okay, and my part is not actually going to be anything related with comparison to any kind of competitor. Just so that what we actually thinking. Okay, of actually putting all these things in there. Okay, first of all is the importance of the input shock. Okay, basically the input inductor. Okay, in every one of our power solutions. Okay, in every one of our solutions, we actually provide additional input shock. Basically, right. Basically here, okay, or here. Okay, in every one of our power solutions, you actually see these sort of things here. Okay, apart from the standard shocks that you normally see. The reason being, that the additional input shock, we will be able to stabilize the input before it's actually going into your motherboard. Okay, i.e., when you actually use a poor quality power supplies, it will not damage your motherboard directly. Okay, if we close down this part, it will actually result in a low tolerance with respect to the low quality power supplies. Okay, and that's why we actually add additional cost to actually put this one down here. All right, and second, we actually invest into additional switches. Into additional switches to allow you to be able to trigger either the power saving or the performance boost. Okay, with just a quick flick of the switch. Okay, for beginners who just don't want to know anything. Okay, they can just switch it on and just do it. Okay. And in here, we actually here is our pattern design. Okay, number 3 is our pattern design. Okay, for the DIN slot and for the PCI Express slot. Okay. the reason why we actually invest the cost, okay, to actually design our own thin slots, but with a single latch, is because we know some users, okay, some users may actually have some very big VGA cards that is going to either block this side, okay, or this side, depending on placement of this thin slot. Okay, and apart from that, a lot of users, when they actually install DRAMs, they do not actually install it vertically downwards. Okay, which when either one of the sides are not installed correctly, it will actually cause damage to the DRAM. Okay, that's why we actually change it to single latch, where you can actually press force on one side first and then the other side. Okay, without actually damaging the thin slot. Okay, and then it's a special design PCI Express slot. Okay, the retention here. Okay, the retention here will allow you to be able to remove the VGA cards, regardless whether the heatsink is actually in the back or the front. Okay, so it will be much easier for you to remove the VGA cards, regardless whether your heatsink is this side or that side. Okay, even if your finger cannot go in, you can actually use a pen to actually remove it very easily. Okay, unlike our previous designs where we only have latches on either this side or that side, and it's going to be much difficult for some people with the heatsink on the different side. Okay? Where's number 7 first? Alright. Okay. Anyway, the placement of our USB 3, front USB 3 connector. No, sorry, number 4. Okay. Number 4 is our memory okay. Okay. We do actually consider DRAM compatibility as one of the key concerns of users. Okay, because users may actually go to the shop and actually buy any sort of DRAM for their system, and once the system doesn't boot, they don't know what is going on. Okay, even if we actually invest the cost to actually put a debug card on the system, users still don't know what is going on. Okay, and that's why we actually add some LEDs and the special buttons here, so that it will be able to automatically tweak your DRAM for you. Okay. With the help of the CPU, you will be able to fine-tune your DRAM parameters. Okay, to actually jump down and down until you actually find a stable state, and then you actually stop and make your system be able to boot, and so you can actually go into BIOS and do your settings afterwards. Okay. Number 5 is the placement. Placements of all different connectors. Okay. Apart from here. Okay. Apart from here. Like for instance, from the USB 3, as we know, USB 3 500 USB modules are mostly found on the top of the case or from the mid of the case. Okay. Due to that, we actually place this 500 USB at the middle of the motherboard, so it will be able to be reached regardless where the 500 USB connector is, regardless where the 500 USB module is actually placed on your chassis. Okay, so regardless whether it's on top, the middle, or the bottom, you will be able to reach. Okay, instead of actually placing it over here, like what our vendors are actually doing. Okay, it will be very difficult for you to actually reach if it happens to be placed on the top of the chassis. Okay, the reason being, the 500 USB 3 is very sensitive to the quality of the cables. Okay, and it's very sensitive to the length of the cables as well. Okay, so the longer, the worse. That's why we try to actually design it in a way that you can actually match shorter cables. Okay, and you will be able to give you better compatibilities as well. Alright. And number 6 is the placement of the front panel audios. Okay, we place the front panel audios here so that you can actually be able to reach this location without having the cable running through the middle of your motherboard. Okay, of course, most people will prefer it to be over here instead. Okay, because basically it's the closest to the bottom of the chassis, and it will be the best to actually stop cables. However, because we have to actually separate the ground, okay, separate digital ground and analog ground on motherboards to prevent ground noise. Right? We have to actually place it somewhere very close Okay, somewhere very close to the audio chip. That's why it's actually placed in these sort of locations. Okay. And number 7 is the Bluetooth antenna. Okay, we have the Bluetooth antenna built in on one of the I/O ports. Okay, so that you will not be needing the additional antenna to actually be placed outside the chassis. Okay, because it's very small and compact. Once you actually move your system around, you will not actually be able to break it in any way. Okay, and finally it's our heatsink. Okay, we try to make our heatsink as big as possible while keeping it low profile, so you will not actually be facing any sort of incompatibility issues with your VGA cards while keeping sufficient, or relatively better heat-expansion capabilities due to the additional service, additional service area. That's about it for my part.
Okay. Questions and answers session. Okay. Do feel free. Okay. If let's say you have any ideas or you have any questions. Okay. Do let us know. Okay. We will type on the slides itself, and Jack and I will actually try to answer the questions. Yes.
You notice your Z68 motherboard don't have video outputs. And the video part.
Z68 motherboard doesn't have.
Yeah, the one over there on display. The Z68
okay,
Deluxe.
Z68 Deluxe. Okay, Z68 Deluxe. Though it does not come with the VGA outputs, we still provide power to keep the internal graphics functional. Okay, so you can still use virtual demo, and you can still use QuickSync. Okay, so you can still do multi-GPU functions. While the only thing that you could actually lose is the multi-monitor support. Okay, because basically we don't actually give you any more headers. Okay, considering we have way too many features on there, there's basically no space to actually put those things. Okay, this is the only unfortunate part. Okay, but we still try to give you the best, the most we can actually offer. Okay, on that extent. Okay, there is also another motherboards like that anyway on the M4E dash, which is basically the same sort of formations as the Deluxe. Okay.
There's next any? Yes.
Any plans for making a Sabertooth Z68?
Okay. Any plans for
Sabertooth Z68? Okay. In terms of the functionalities of Z68, okay, like there's not really that much of a difference as compared with the P67 anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to have the integrated graphics support just in case
just in case when you actually scroll
I
down,
don't need
right?
the extra features, but it's good to have access to the integrated video card.
Yeah. The only trouble is the Sabertooth series will have to go to more extensive tests. Okay, and it normally take a few months longer, okay, than the others. And if we actually implement the Sabertooth for the Z68, when it comes out, it will be the year of the Mount Bay anyway. Okay, so it will be a little bit too late. Okay, so because Intel actually pushed out the Z68 quite late. Okay, if it was actually pushed out at the same time as the P67, then yes, it will actually be. Unfortunately, it was actually pushed a little bit late. Maybe on the next generation also. Okay.
Okay, sorry. Next. Yes.
Any reason why there's no display port?
Any reasons why there is no display port?
Okay, space. Space, yes.
Okay, due to space constraints.
Only because of space.
Any reason why there's no PLX bridge chip on the board?
PLX bridge chip on the board.
I think 3 full length.
Yeah, it's on the Deluxe, not on the Pro. We do actually keep a different segmentation for different applications.
Is this generation of different models?
Different models, yes. Okay, it's like we make the same. We make basically the same segmentations as the P67. Okay, Okay, where the POX is only on the last one block. The POX chip, considering the expensiveness of that, if we remove all the
Yeah. So I still can use the iPhone and controller. I think that's what they call no more already, no more sound. I'll bring last time control the iPhone. Yeah. Only sound different. Only sound no more.
As far as we know, LGA 1155 does not actually have any buttons.
Oh yeah.
Foxconn actually resolved the 1156 problem last time by special inventions next to each one of the CPU pins that you got. So they should actually be many of the 1156.
Okay, next, any questions? Yes. Sorry,
Sorry, can you use mic?
oh, never mind,
Alright.
just repeat.
Yeah. Excuse me again? Yes. Okay, one of the basic requirements of the EMI BIOS is the support of high resolution. You can, is the resolution the same? Now, I mean, text mode, we actually refer to text mode, it's actually 640 by 480. Anything above that is considered high resolution. And one of the requirements of any EMI BIOS is the support of high resolution above. Anything you have that's above that will actually be considered, okay, graphical mode. Okay? Whether you actually use it or not. Since our advanced mode, that doesn't actually have a show in there.
Rest assured, later on, okay, Jack will actually re-answer the questions listed. So yeah. Sorry. Any questions? Next.
Is it alright to ask about 367 watt?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Just one question.
Yeah.
Does the tactical bus of the Saber 2P67 actually works?
Yes.
I mean, heat is traveling upwards in its position.
Yes.
Doesn't the vest keep the warm air in between the vest and the motherboard?
Okay. The heat from most of the components there is very generated by most of the components that's covered. Okay, are not really that much anyway. Okay, so the other two locations where you actually have a lot of heat, extensive heat, are the PCH, okay, and your VIA. Okay, these are the only two locations. Okay, and these two locations have their own heatsink. Wire is open to air. Okay, so air can actually travel down from that side to actually cool down those two parts already. Okay, and the rest of the components are actually cooled down by the cold airflow coming from your downstream CPU fans or the original socket of load. Okay, depending on how you actually want to place it. Okay. Yes.
ASUS recommend to install an optional 50mm fan if the user isn't using a top-down CPU cooler.
If it's not using the top-down CPU cooler, then it is highly recommended. Yes.
Then the question is, why didn't ASUS supply us with a 50mm fan to begin with? Because it's pretty hard to find a 50mm fan.
That is a good one.
Because the time I went to Sydney Square to find a 50mm fan, I really 2 hours. Yeah, so I was pretty curious why they didn't supply us with it.
Yeah, because sales here thing is very common. Well, basically Taiwan that is. And we didn't actually consider all these countries. That's our fault. And we will try to prevent that from happening.
Thanks for the point. Okay, we will actually highlight to actually implement to see whether is there any chance to actually bundle it into the
At least change to 60 mm fan. 60 is easier.
60 mm.
50 is a very rare fan.
Okay. Next, sorry. Yes.
Just now in the slides, they show that in D mode for the Lucid Ver 2, there's actually a performance increase compared to only the discrete in the D mode. So is it a fluctuation or? Just now in the slides, they showed a performance increase in a 3D Mark Vantage.
Yeah.
In the D mode.
Yes.
So is it a fluctuation?
No, it's a fluctuation. Okay. The additional gain you actually see on there is basically just an arrow. Okay. That's the arrow. That's why we are not claiming it to be any faster.
Yeah.
Okay. We are saying that it's not any slower.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
That's why the expression is 100% performance with 0% performance drop. Okay. It will be a white lie if we actually say it's actually running faster.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it doesn't make sense. Yes. Yes, overhead is on I mode. Okay, overhead is on I mode because when you actually are running I mode, when you actually running I mode, when you actually running I mode, everything will actually be processed by the discrete graphics. But before it's being processed by the discrete graphics, the package, okay, the direct streaming package will have to be sent, okay, from the interface to software, and then they will actually be, okay, the overhead of about 5 minutes. Okay, this is known. And that's why on the iPhone slide, there is nothing, there's no reference to 3D performance because they based on the overhead.
Hey guys, any more questions regarding motherboard or even graphic cards? Okay, you can ask anything as long as it's not price or sales.
Sorry, excluding confidential stuff as well. Okay, so no questions about 990 FX and no questions about ASUS class, please. Okay, and no questions about X79 or Maho Band. Okay, I cannot answer any of those questions.
We will pass around some boards for you to have a look. So maybe during the experimental period, you probably have some questions.
Feel free to share with us, the ideas that you have, for future motherboard designs.
Okay, can I take note that everything that's red and the green